Hello there guys, it's TIJ and welcome to the first episode of highlights of the group stages in the much anticipated F1 Summer Championships. Now this year the group stages are particularly crucial, apart from the obvious fact of getting in the top two to get through. Points are also really crucial this year, with the group winners with the most points getting a more favourable semi-final. Anyway, the system is discussed in all fairness within the highlights from Group D, so hopefully you guys will be all suited up after that group stage highlights. But first off, before we get into Group D, let's see the highlights from Group B, which contain the F1 World Cup winner TheSilentMole, previous Summer Championship competitors BPRL Subtle, or Super Joshy 9 as is previously known, and VRL Ringrose, who was previously known as WF1 Magnussen, and Championship rookie Master Josh B.
We're allowed to talk, or is it like?
Yeah, you can talk. Yeah, that's fine.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you're not restricted from talking. And yeah, that's the that's the perfect intro, I think, guys, to Group B. The contestants are being asked if they can talk. Of course, they can talk, but me and Matt212 are the commentators around here. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Group B. And we're going to be starting this group at the Brazilian Grand Prix. Then we're going to Austria, Russia, and Abu Dhabi to introduce you to our contestants. We've got Luke, who's the Silent Mole. We've got Josh, who's BPRL Subtle. We'll probably be referencing him as Adrian, because we have got another Josh by Master Josh B. Then we've also got VRL Ringrose, which is Joe. So that's introduced you to everybody else. Of course, apart from my co-commentator, who is Matt, who's going to be commentating on this race with me. So here we go then for the first race. Now it's going to be a little bit confusing because we've got two Toro Rosso, so I don't know which one's on pole and which one.
It's suited. I'm in a green helmet.
Okay, so Josh is on pole. We've got the Williams of Matt in second, me in third. We've got Josh in fourth and Joe in last. So here we go then, me and Matt are going to jump the start and then watch from the sidelines. Here we go then. Lights out and away we go. It's a decent start for Josh and a decent start for everybody, it seems. And there's a yellow flag, but that's probably because I've just stopped. So they come around the first corner. I don't think there's been any incidents so far. And a decent start for all. I don't think any position changes, Matt.
No, I think Josh obviously led from pole. He had that bit of advantage where he got to start near enough, a row and a half ahead of everyone else there. But Silent Mole looking down the inside potentially. Oh, a bit of contact between Ringrose and him in the background there. Yeah,
it seemed that the Toro Rosso and the Force India clashed a bit. It looks like the Ferrari of Josh is right on the back of Adrian, with obviously that iconic Toro Rosso, who's not Force India. Let's go on board with obviously the Silent Mole, who got into the semi-finals last year. I think he's pretty much the he was in the first seed for this group, so he's expected to win this group. So no pressure on him. Number 48. He had a little bit of a look up the inside of the Ferrari there, but I think for this race it's all about keeping it cool, getting a decent result, and it's really where it matters in the third and fourth race. So obviously these guys knows where they're strong and weak. They may well be weak around here, or they might be strong, but I'm sure they're not going to tell anybody in this group because they want to keep that all under wraps. It looks like the Ferrari has got a little bit of a run on Josh. Josh's obviously going to really struggle because he hasn't got the slipstream whatsoever.
Yep, down. Is he going to have to look? He's going to have to look to the outside there. Adrian just tries to defend him off, but Master Josh B able to go right around the outside there into turn one. A brilliant move by him just so far in this race there. But Adrian trying to have a look potentially to go for another slingshot move on him out of turn one. Then he's going to have a look down the inside in towards the second set there. What's he going to be able to do? A bit of contact, I think, there. And they go straight off.
They've both gone off the track. And Joe takes second place. And Adrian and Josh, the two Joshes, do collide there. I don't know how you saw that one, Matt.
I think there might have been a little bit of lag there. It seemed very odd there, but unfortunate for the pair of them there. But they haven't exactly, they're not exactly far behind, so it's definitely far from over in this first race. But for the top two now, they sort of just need to keep it clean and try and hold on to their positions right to the very end. Yeah, absolutely. Joe was obviously a little bit far behind after lap one, because he was... there was a little bit of an incident at turn 2, it seemed, but can he catch up to Luke? It looks like Luke's pulling away at the moment, but I think Joe could have the pace to catch up, but he's just got to watch behind as well for Josh, because he hasn't got the slipstream, because he's not really that close to Luke. I'd say Luke's got at least a second gap, and it looks like Josh... Yeah, and it looks like Josh's got the slipstream on this straight. Will he do what Josh did to him last time and go around the outside? No, he's just bottled that, I think. But the Force India's running a little bit wide. Can he get him on the cutback? And Josh up the inside. That's a brilliant move. And he makes it a Toro Rosso 1-2 for the moment. It looks like Luke's going to win this race. But will it be second for Adrian? Or will it be third for Adrian? Or will it even be fourth for Adrian? It's quite confusing calling Josh Adrian. But I'm sure we'll get across that barrier. But we've got the Ferrari
the Force India and the Toro Rosso all in a bit of a train now, and it's going to be interesting. I think any of these can finish second, and they can finish in any combination in second, third or fourth.
Yeah, just having a look at the rear from he's watching Master Josh B and Joe try to have a look past in any possible chance that they will get on the final couple of sectors of this third lap of the Brazilian race. Obviously brilliant, these races so short, any mistake can really cost you there. But I think Master Josh B a little bit too far back at the moment, but if he gets a good run through the final corner up towards the finish line with a bit of slipstream, he might just be able to go for a bit of a slingshot move up towards the line.
Here we go then, so Joe's got DRS as well as Josh on Adrian. Will it be second for the Toro Rosso? It looks like he will just do it on the line. No, it's not. It's the Force India who just makes it second on the line on that DRS there. But Luke wins the race by 1.5 seconds. A really good, dominating race, I'd say, from Luke after taking the lead on lap 2. And then he had a really good race. And Joe finishes just ahead by, as you just said, less than a tenth ahead of Adrian, and then Josh finishes in last, but certainly really close, and it'll be even closer, I bet, as we move on to Austria. Oh, P5 and P6 on the grid for the Williams, which helps. So we've got the Toro Rosso in 4th and 3rd, and we've got the Force India of Joe on pole, and then the Ferrari of Josh in 2nd. So this should be an interesting one. Can the Ferrari get up to 1st after that first corner? And there are 5 lights now in Austria. Lights out, and away we go. They held the lights for a long time there, it seems. And it looks like the Ferraris had a good start. Let's see. Let's follow them, actually, up to that first corner. And Josh is in 2nd still. But no change, it doesn't look like, from that start, I don't think. But there's going to be a lot of slipstream coming up to that turn 2, or turn 3 corner, whatever they class it as these days. And the Ferrari's actually on the outside of the Force India, and he makes the move, but it doesn't make it stick, and the Toro Rosso's really pouncing, and I think they nearly went 4 abreast there. The Toro Rosso took each other off the track, a bit of teammate rivalry. I think everyone just got a little bit too close there, and a little bit chaotic in this session. So we have got the Ferrari of Josh in the lead, and we've got the winner from last race, Luke, at the back. How did you say the incident, Matt? It was I think it was just a case of that both of the drivers run out of road.
Yeah, it was all obviously everyone trying to make positions up, in the early stage, and unfortunately, not everyone can be a winner in these races. Unfortunately for the pair of them there, just caught out with that bit of elevation change as well at the top of the hill, but they're a couple of seconds back.
Luke was up the inside of Adrian and makes a move, but will Josh make an inside move into the last corner? Will they collide again? No, they won't. Josh does concede the position to Luke. It's a bit confusing. I keep calling him Josh. I think we will just go with Josh. And you guys will know what we mean. Will Josh go for the move into turn 1? No, he doesn't. Let's have a look at the top 2 then to see how they're progressing in this race.
They're still very close as they come up to the top of the hill. 3/10 at the end of the first lap, but Ringrose thinks about going for a move that goes for a bit of a dummy, and that unsettles Josh a little bit there into the braking zone, but he's able to hold on for now. So, these two, for them, they want to just take up as many points as they possibly can from the second race. If they squabble too much, then perhaps the Toro Rossos can come back towards them. We want to be seeing good racing. 7 extra points at the end of this race can really help out your sort of heats championship.
Yeah, definitely. It's going to be quite close after this race, as you can imagine, because the order's been pretty much reversed. It actually is reversed, apart from, I think Luke is still ahead of Josh. Obviously, we can't see that at the moment. But Joe, is he going to make a move on Josh going to the last corner? He does back out. Fair enough, I can understand that, because we are still quite early in this group stage, meaning that, it's not necessarily all to play for at the moment. Okay, points are crucial, but, you'd rather get 18 points rather than, crash out and, have a bit of a disaster. So let's have a look at the Toro Rosso. It doesn't look like there's going to be a move made by the Force India on the Ferrari. And the same goes for Josh, I think. I think he's just staying behind Luke, hoping maybe for an incident with the top 2, but I think pretty much the order is going to stay as it is now. We have obviously got the slipstream straight next time.
Oh, Master Josh B runs wide there. Sorry to interrupt you there, but Master Josh B has just ran wide, and Ringrose has just been gifted that position, as well as DRS, so there's going to be no real worry to defend there. But unfortunately, I just saw him going. I saw him having a look up the inside at the top of the hill there, but I think Master Josh B made an ever so slight error there, and that will give Ringrose, hopefully for his sake, a race victory.
Yeah, it's been a good race. Obviously, that it was really impacted by Josh going wide there. But, as you say, a good race. Very good race. And the Force Indy's going to win this one. So after finishing second last time, he's in fact going to top the group. Maybe unexpected, maybe expected, we don't know. Luke, who obviously is the top seed, has got a little bit of work to do after this race. But coming across the line in first is the Force India of Joe, and Josh finishes in second, with Luke in third and his teammate Josh Sutil in fourth. So that was an interesting race. Yeah, it was just interesting. Obviously, the gaps are a little bit more after the two Toro Rossos collided on the first lap. But very interesting races to be had in the next race in Russia.
Oh, wet.
Oh,
yeah,
nice
wet
traction.
in Russia, and that's a bit of drama that we need. Yeah, nice traction, definitely. So we've got the Force India on pole, who also leads the group stage. We've got the Ferrari in in third. We've got the Toro Rosso in fourth. Traction control is going to be OP here. It's lights out and away we go. It's obviously a long run to the first corner, so fingers crossed we can get on board with some of these drivers before we get to the first corner. It would be nice to actually, you know,
Master Josh bit 3 wide, already down towards turn 1 here. Ringrose has got a slight advantage to the braking zone there, and Master Josh B trying to have a look up the inside of Luke there, but Josh is going to be able to pounce on that opportunity as well and move himself up into P3. There he nearly runs wide into his teammate there, but we got Ringrose still in the lead after the very, very long turn 3.
Yeah, it's been an interesting first lap. Obviously, it's a little bit slippy, so anything could happen in this race. Could be really exciting. Nobody making any silly moves at the moment. Obviously, no DRS in this race, just driver's skill. It looks like Luke's going a little bit quicker than Joe at the moment, and he's going to make a move up the inside. Quite brave, actually, into this corner. Can Josh get on the action as well? In fact, Josh is going to benefit from this. No, he's not. He does have a little bit of a tank slapper coming out of there, and is unfortunately overtook by the Ferrari. Can he keep it? No, the Ferrari's gone a little bit wide, and Josh might be able to make it on the outside of Josh. That's going to be a fun one, but it looks like the Toro Rosso has not done too well there. But we're going to have a look at the battle for the lead. Can Luke get the slipstream off of this large straight? Doesn't look like it, but we never know. Let's get back on board with the other Toro Rosso. As you can see, Josh is going up the inside of Josh, but will the Ferrari cover him off? Josh doesn't really go for a move there, but it looks like the Force India's running a little bit wide. Don't know, but it looks like it. But Luke's got a little bit of the slipstream, and he's going to go up the inside into this corner. Will it work out? Two don't usually go well into that corner. I think Luke knows exactly that and isn't going to be stupid. And it's very close, coming up to the end of the first lap here in Russia.
Yeah, all very, very close still. You know, Josh and, well, both Joshes still having a little bit of a squabble away in the background there as I was just looking behind from Luke's car. But in through the final corner there, Master Josh and Luke, they're both made a little bit of a mistake, and Adrian or Josh will now be able to try and look down the inside through the turn 1 kink here in the rain. Still,
he's done it, I think.
Yeah, he has been able to do it there, down towards turn 1. He'll still have the inside, as I think Luke thought about going for a move up the inside as well for the lead of the race.
Oh, the Ferrari's going to try and stick it, and he has, to be fair. That was pretty good, pretty brave there from the Ferrari, but I think he got the better line coming out of that turn 2 section, and Josh unfortunately is on the back front again against Josh. All the Force India is trying to defend from the Toro Rosso, and the Toro Rosso's got the overcut on the Force India, and that actually looks the same for the Toro Rosso on the Ferrari. It's two by two battles here, which is quite interesting and brilliant that actually they're both in close proximity, so wherever we're watching we could see both drivers having a battle. It could go any way, couldn't it, here?
Yeah, definitely looking like anything can still happen. You know, if there's a bit of contact between the top two perhaps, then this could bring the two Joshes straight back in this little fight as well. You know, forget maybe a bit of a side pod glitch there as Ringrose tries to have a look down the inside there, and Luke just sort of not exactly cutting him off there, but not exactly giving him all the room in the world either. They're being fair but firm, I think, is the right way to describe that.
Yeah, I think Luke's got to be quite firm because he's in second in the group at the moment and he really wants to win this group. But Joe, he's up the inside, but he can't stick it up the inside. I was going to say he was going to go up the inside, but I don't think he can. And it looks like the Ferrari's right on the back of Joe now. Will he go up the inside? Two don't go well into this corner, as I've said before, but he's going to be a little bit braver than Luke was, and he's not really ended well because he has been shoved a little bit to the outside. Will he make a move into these last few corners? It's going to be very interesting here. The Ferrari sticks it up the inside of the Force India. Clean race, I love it here in the F1 Summer Championships. The Ferrari forces the Force India a little bit wide, up the inside, into the final corner, and a brilliant move by the Ferrari made there. Can Josh in the Toro Rosso maybe benefit from this? Will it be a 0 to 0 really for Ringrose as he's dropped from first to maybe last in these laps? Josh has got the run on both of these cars. It's going to be close. He's colliding with both cars, but who will come out on top into this corner? It looks like it'll be the Ferrari, But what is going to happen here? The Force India just cut that corner a little bit, so a little bit questionable there. But all's fair in love and war, I guess. But it's a really close battle between these three, and this is just getting mad, isn't it, Matt? It's fantastic to see, to be honest.
Yeah, brilliant action between all three of them here, but it's giving Luke an almighty chance to run away at the moment. So it's really helped him out there. But there's a bit of contact between Ringrose, and both Josh is able to slip by there in towards the next corner. Then Josh is making a bit of contact there. Unfortunately, Suttil nearly bins it in the wall there, unfortunately for him. But once again, he's been a little bit unlucky there, you know, with the way the contact model is on this game. And this leaves Ringrose and Josh B in a bit of a squabble, now down towards the final sector of the race.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting. Will the Force India body be firm with the Ferrari? The Ferrari cuts him off a little bit there, but there's going to be a bit of slipstream over the straight. Obviously no DRS. But I think the Toro Rosso Josh needs them to have an instant now to get back into this. He's obviously struggling in this group stage, but the Force India's got the slipstream on the Ferrari. Will he take it around the outside going to this corner? It looks like he will. Will the Ferrari keep it on the inside line? He tries to push him out a little bit. Will the Force India try to push him out? I think the Ferrari bracked out there, maybe to perhaps get an overcut coming into this corner. He went up the inside last time, but he's gone up the outside, which will actually give him a bit of a better line going into the next corner. But the Force India is firm, and ironically,
just look at Josh in the background as well, though. He could still gain from this.
Luke's going to win this race, but the Ferrari up the inside of the Force India. Will he keep it into these last few corners? The Toro Rosso's on the inside as well. He needs a brilliant race, but the Ferrari up the inside into the last corner. Who's going to cross the line in a better fashion? Oh, it's side by side coming across the line. Oh my God, would you look at that? 4.16 for Josh B and 4.19 for Ringrose. Josh looked like he got a 10-second time penalty. That's Josh Suttil, that is. But what a race that was. What did you think of that one, Matt? It was definitely the best I've seen in the Summer Championship so far.
Oh, so far, yeah, you know, brilliant action all the way through, you know. It was odd to think, you know, that we had so many different phases in just one 3-lap race there, but brilliant close action all the way through there. And, you know, hopefully when we move on into the final race, you know, this can all continue.
Yeah, it's all to play for, as you can see. Josh looks like he'll probably be out now without a DNF for one of the top two. But really, it's all to play for, because if Ringrose finishes last and Josh wins, then Josh gets through to the next stage of this championships. But really, we can't really talk about permutations because, well, it's just all going to be bonkers. And let's actually not cut away. Let's go straight to the Abu Dhabi Grand Prix, and let's have a bit of opinion from you for you. It's been a little bit quiet throughout. Let's start with Luke. How do you think this group's gone?
No, it's good racing. Crucial overtaking that last race to pull away, but it's been very close.
Yeah, definitely. I think the grid positions will be crucial for this race. Joe, how do you think it's gone?
Very good. Weren't expecting to be this high up, so whether to maintain that gap in the final race.
So it's going to be P2 for... Oh, brilliant. The Williams are on the front row. We've got a Toro Rosso in third place. We have got Josh B in fourth, Ringrose in fifth, and the other Toro Rosso at the back. Who's on pole then? Oh, right,
I'm in sixth.
Oh, okay. This is going to be a bit of a challenge then. So, here we go. For the start of the race. This is going to be crucial. Lights out, and away we go for this one. And there we go, they all get away cleanly. And the Toro Rosso of Josh is leading to the first corner. The Ferrari thinks about getting up the inside, but he cannot do for the moment. And the Ferrari is in second. It's not changed from the start, but let's go on board actually with Luke at the back, because if we can see any incidents, we're going to be able to see them from Luke's point of view. But it's reverse order at the moment in the championship. The Ferrari runs a little bit wide there, and it's going to be interesting. I don't know where this race will go. Have you got an opinion, Matt, on how this will go, or are you just going to watch to see how it'll...
I think you can't really predict it, especially with two long straights on this circuit. You know, with this way the slipstream works on this game. Anything can happen here, as I'm just on board with Luke, trying to make a move on Ringrose down towards the second chicane, technically, of this lap. He's on the outside here, which probably isn't ideal, but he does brake ever so slightly later there. Was he able to do a little bit of contact there as they go through, and he unfortunately attacked the curb there far too much. And that unfortunately means Ringrose, even though that bit of contact, which looked like it had off-put him, was able to benefit him there. But
Ferrari's on the outside.
Going on. He's still having a look right around the outside as Luke, but I think Ringrose is just going to cut him off there.
Oh wow, fantastic racing at the front, real side-by-side racing. Will the Ferrari take it on the inside? This is fantastic. There's been so many collisions, but luckily they've only touched tyres, and the Ferrari up the inside into this corner. I think he's got the inside line now, so should be able to make it work. This is fantastic racing. Well done to both you here for being able to just keep it to keep it clean, really. And
bit of contact.
Bit of irony there. He did keep it clean for quite a while, but I just think that it wasn't really anybody's fault. But I maybe think that you were side by side for a little bit too long there. But Josh Suttle does come out the best there, and obviously it's going to be crucial now for Josh B to be able to get past these two, Ringrose and the Silent Mole, to be able to get through this group stage, because it looks like at the moment it's going to be the two cars on screen, the Force India and the Toro Rosso, to get through at the moment.
Yeah, he's about 5 seconds back, but as you know, I think we had a couple of times last year, you know, if these two fight a lot, and especially on the way F1 2016 works, you can gain a huge amount of time just by other drivers being side by side. But in through the first chicane there, and Luke seems to have made a move on Ringrose, going to dive it back down the inside there. And you know, for these two at the moment, they're fairly safe overall in the overall heats. So it's going to be interesting to see what they are going to do. But I think if we just look back, Master Josh B, the gap has already come down by a couple of tenths in the first sector alone there. So he's definitely not out.
Force India, is he up the inside? And he's got the move done for the moment. And, he's tapped the curb too much, a bit like Luke did last lap. And that means it's Toro Rosso 1-2 at the moment. Well, it's going to be interesting. I don't think, actually, now, there will be any position changes. I just think that's the way it's going to go here. But obviously all to play for.
Ringrose and Luke could still have a good little battle on the final lap of the race, you know. If we see Luke make a little bit of a mistake, maybe he might bottle it slightly, then these two could be right back in each other's clutches. And especially for Master Josh B, you know, he needs these two squabbling, as well as the other Josh already know. They'll both be quite happy to find these two fighting their way out for the final couple of laps.
What a performance from Josh Suttle. I guess he had nothing to lose. He's dominated this race.
Yeah, he's been able to keep it nice and clean out the front there, and obviously very, very well done to him. But he's not home and dry just yet. You know, a lot could still happen in the final half a lap of this race. But, you know, he's been able to keep it out of incidents all the way through there, and it's really, you know, he hasn't been lucky so far this heat. It's been fair to say, you know, a race win for him would work very, very nicely to, you know, finish on a high.
Well, the Force India's got DRS on the Silent Mole. This is going to be the last straw for both of these drivers. He's gained a lot in the braking zone, run a little bit wide there, but he has got DRS again. Not so much of an impact this DRS straight doesn't have, I feel. But here we go. Here he goes again on the DRS. He's got the DRS button active, and we're coming down this straight. It's not going to be close enough by any stretch of the imagination, but he just needs a few good corners in this last sector. Good braking zone here would help him along the way, but it looks like Luke's got it all tuned up and fine. Luke, so I think, is going to win this group. But in terms of this race, Josh Suttle is going to win the race. So unfortunately, the Ferrari and the Toro Rosso have Josh Suttle and Josh B are going to be out of this group. But it's going to be very good racing in this group. A very clean group as well, I think. Just a few unfortunate incidents. So let's go to the leader, Josh. I think he deserves a little bit of a shout out, because obviously he's going to go out, unfortunately. But I think pretty much he's going to be maybe one of a kind, with somebody to go out but still to win a race. So Josh comes across the line in the Toro Rosso to win this race. The Silent Mole finishes second, Ringrose finishes third, and Josh B finishes in fourth. So that leads us with a standings, just to tot it up. We've got Luke with 83 points, Joe with 73, Josh with 64, and then Josh B with 60. So a very good group stage, guys. Well done to all of you. Really good racing there, and I think honestly that 64 points could in another group be enough to get through. But a good score from Luke there. I feel it's not going to be the highest, but obviously you guys will not have seen other groups so far. So it should be an interesting semi-final. Obviously for Silent Mole and Ringrose, thank you very much to Josh Suttle and Josh B for coming on. But unfortunately that's their Summer Championships adventure over. But for Joe and Luke, they progress to the next round. So that's it for Group B. So that's Group B done, and Luke gets through with third seed Joe following him, which is quite a surprise actually. A good haul of points at 83, but Joe certainly wasn't far off with that 73 points total. The group was very competitive in my opinion, with all drivers doing very well. Will the same go for Group D, with one rookie Jake, who is Corbinata, and three previous competitors Matt212, DMAD96 and a Racing Viper? Or will we see a dominant force in this group? Shall we take a look? Hello and welcome to Group D, folks. The last group, but ironically the first group to be recorded. And today in Group D we've got Matt212, we've got Helmet Wands or Corbinator or Jake or whatever profile he wants to use, DMAD96 which is Dan, and a Racing Vibe which is Brad. I've also got my co-commentator Matty Bolton, who was in Group C. I don't know how he did. But we're going to get straight into it. Our first track is China, then we've got Baku, Austin and finally Singapore, so a racer's nightmare. I'm starting at the back. Matty, you are starting at the front, it looks like. So basically, me and Matty will pull aside and let these 4 riders go. So here we go then. We've got lights here at China. 5 lights. Lights out. And away we go for the start. And oh, it's a bit of a colossal start. It looks like Brad has got the better start out of everyone. We're going to miss turn 1, unfortunately, as it's not deciding to retire. This is fantastic. If it just pulls over and lets me view the screen. Apologies out there, folks, but out of the first corner, Brad leads and Dan has been spun. I don't know why or how that's happened, but Brad leads from Jake and Matt is just behind him. Let's get on board with Matt. So Matty, let's have a little bit of a review from you. Corbinator goes up the inside. Oh, Brad! Oh, and the Renault's nearly spun.
Held it very well held though.
Yeah, definitely. And so it's pretty much a 3-horse battle for this race anyway. It looks like Dan's out of it, but hopefully he can get onto the back of the pack at the first corner. So what happened there, Dan?
Got squeezed by Matt.
Okay.
Did I?
I think that sounds like a typical China turn 1 incident, really. It's just the nature of the
I can only apologise, Dan. I had no idea about that.
Okay, so at the moment, as you can clearly see, there's not really much to review about. As it seems, Brad braked really early there, or Jake braked really late. I can't really decide. But
Probably
obviously,
Jake braked really late.
So Brad is at the front, but we're going to have Slipstream Heaven coming down this straight. So we're going to go on board actually with the Renault, and let's see if we can get the Slipstream on Brad. He definitely has.
Brad making a slight late move, but it's up to Helmet now to go down the inside into the hairpin. Easy done. It looks like Brad's going to hang around the outside. But he's just going to get squeezed out by Helmet, and it's now a change for the lead, and we've now got Matt212 going up around the outside of Brad. Will he make it sit? Yes, he will.
Brad's stuck
and
behind.
Brad's in the pits.
Drive-through penalty. I got
Drive-through penalty for a jump start from Brad. So,
that's why I got such a good start.
So here we go then. It's an Aussie and an Englishman at the front. Then it's Corbinator or Jake and Matt212 and Matt. So Jake's gone very wide at that first corner, but has held the lead. So pretty much at the moment, it's 2 battles. I don't know whether Brad's got out ahead of Dan.
No, I'm ahead of him.
It looks like Dan is ahead of Brad now,
so.
and Brad is pretty much, unless something dramatic happens, at the back for this race. And not really anybody's fault apart from Brad's. I think Brad has to take full responsibility for that, in the fact that he's going to be last in this race. So here we go then. We've still got the Renault in the lead, and the Williams is just behind.
Yeah, they're coming through this middle sector now. It looks as if Helmet is starting to pull away slightly from that, which I think. Well, I'm certainly a bit surprised. That Matt is, of course, the all-conquering man of Formula 1 games these days, with multiple track records. But seemingly none of them are around China, as unless he's just sticking it out for the back straight, which, of course, we've mentioned before is Slipstream Central. But well, China's a bit of a mix of a track when it comes to driving, because you've got the long straight, you've got the incredibly fast corner, so it's a bit of a difficult one to get set up for. But of course, in this championships, all cars are running the same default setup, so there should be no advantages or disadvantages to any driver.
Yeah, absolutely right. And Matt gained a little bit on that straight. Oh, Matt braked really late there. But it seems that Matt gained a little bit on that straight, but obviously not enough to make the move on Jake. Obviously, this lap there will be DRS introduced. I don't know if there will be any for that back straight. It looks like 3rd and 4th are confirmed though, with Brad and Dan staying in their respective positions, and Dan actually goes really wide there. But really, it's a battle for the lead. Obviously, there's 7 points between 1st and 2nd, so in the context of these 4 races, it's going to be really, really important.
As well as that, scoring points is very important in this championships, because the highest scoring group winner gets the preferential semi-final.
Yeah,
so
that's a good point.
It's really in the best interest of the drivers to score as many points as they can.
Yeah, definitely. And we've got quite a battle at the lead, but I'd pretty much say now that the Renault of Jake has got enough of a gap to resist, even if there is DRS on that final straight, for Jake to stay in front. But it's going to be an interesting first race. Definitely an interesting sort of display of these 2 drivers' pace. Obviously, the second 2 drivers you can't really see as much, because obviously they've been quite a way at the back. But it looks like Matt's running out of fuel. I don't know if that's just a glitch on my screen, but it looks like Matt's running out of fuel, so I think you might have to manage that. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see in the next few races what will happen. And Matt has got DRS, but I think he's way too far back to even consider making a move. Whether he can make it through the last few corners, I don't know. There's a good braking zone here.
He's squeezed up. He might have a little chance into the final corner on the start-finish straight. Although I think, yeah, he's too far back now. As long as Helmet keeps his cool, which he has done, it's going to be a surprise victory for the Australian.
Yeah, the Australian takes the first win of the championships. Just behind him is Matt, who we actually expected to be first in this race, but of course, you know...
not using setup.
Wow. And Dan comes across the line. A solid race to start off with. That isn't a bad result, but obviously inflicted and affected by damage, so not really a retrospective result. And then at the back, after a drive-through penalty, coming across the line quite a way back, is Brad. So after the first race, obviously, it's in the order that they all finished. So Jake is first, Matt is second, Dan is third, and Brad is fourth. So on to the famous Baku we go for some mad racing. Okay then, so race 2, and it looks like on pole we have the Ferrari of Dan, in second is Matt, in third is Brad, and in fourth, the tough job is going to be Jake. Obviously, me and Matty are going to have to pull away early at the start to let these four have a race, but Dan has definitely got an advantage with a full row in front of him, and just wait for Matty to ready up, and then we can go. So there's 3 lights, meaning that me and Matty can pull away now. And it is going to be lights out and away we go. We unfortunately don't get to see this. I can see it from the back of my car, but I've retired from the session. So Dan leads out that first corner. Here we go, I can see it now. Dan, it leads out the first corner. There's a few trees in the way, but no change from the start. And Matt and Dan are getting a little bit of a squabble at the start. It looks like that Matt's going to try to go up the inside. Fantastic and brave from Matt. At the start there, it looks like that the Renault is going to overtake Brad as well coming into this corner.
Dan, no,
and Dan's
wow.
closed up a little bit, and it looks like actually the 2 cars that finished third and fourth last race are going to get the advantage here. Oh, it's so close. Oh, there's a crash at the back. There's a crash at the back between Brad and the Renault. I don't quite know how you saw that one, Matty.
Yeah, I saw that. It was just, I think it maybe a little bit of lag, but it looked as if Brad squeezed. One of the cars was squeezed into the wall by the other. Looked as if it may be a hint of side pod glitch, but...
And we have got a lead change. Dan has been overtook by Matt. There has been a lead change. And this could be crucial, obviously, for the championships, if we're looking at the top 2 as the 2 to get through, because obviously Matt is going to take the lead of the championship, because the Renault... unlucky maybe starting in last, but I guess that's a risky take with random grids. Fingers crossed, it should work out that everyone starts on a different position every time. Maybe that won't happen, but who knows, it could. But it looks like that Matt should win this race.
We could see a little bit of a comeback drive from Helmet here.
Yeah, we could do, yeah. He's only, I'd say, maybe 5 seconds off, Dan.
Yeah, he is. He probably will beat me.
Well, you've got 2 laps to hold him off.
And Brad is quite close behind him, so if Brad can keep the gap, he does have the benefit of an OP DRS straight down here.
And a lot of slipstreaming to help him. Coming at the first corner now is Helmet. Nice and clean. Just see Dan up in the distance there, and Matt, of course, is pulling away. Like we expected him to, really. Baku is one of his good tracks. Brad's still keeping up with Helmet, though. Very much so. Keep him within arm's length. It's definitely within the DRS. As we come into the tight infield section here, and Toby, what were you going to say?
Oh, Brad has put it into the wall. I don't know if there's any damage there, but he struggled around that corner.
Before, so there's a lot of it.
So
okay, right.
So
he's going to struggle a little bit now, but really, I think you'd agree, Matty, like you said before, the main battle now is going to be for third and second place. I think for the sake of the racing in this series, I think we'd like Dan to finish second, just in the case that it'll be quite an open championship then, in terms of the top 3, but it looks like Brad hasn't had a great start, and oh, the Australian is out. He's binned it. He has binned it at the castle section, and the Renault is out. So how did that happen then, Jake?
God damn. Oh, I just turned in too early.
Ah, that's a shame, but I suppose it happens. But so, I think pretty much the order is confirmed now, because I don't see either of the second and third catching up to the first place man, or the third place man catch up to the second place man. So I think now it's a real shame that Jake's out, because he did get that obviously first win, but he is going to be third in the standings as it stands. Obviously Brad's going to get 24 points after this race. and Jake will be on 25 as it stands. Dan will be on 33, and Matt will be on 43. So obviously we don't know what's going to happen.
So while we've got this little lull in the action, do you think we should explain how the points?
Yeah, you
work
can
for the
do
group
that because you're the more
stages
knowledgeable
and
about
how-
that.
Yeah. So the system we've come up with is that the two highest scorers from each group proceed into the semi-finals. But in the semi-final groups, they are organised from highest group winner through to fourth highest runner-up, and so the idea is to hopefully keep things competitive and keep people wanting to score high points going into the semi-finals, as the highest semi-final scorer gets the easiest, or theoretically the easiest run into the final. So it's very much in drivers' interests, even if they're in second place, to keep on pushing, whatever the outcome.
I hate this track.
Well, Dan hates this track, but that's it. But clearly Matt doesn't, because he's had a really clean race. I think the only one to have a... saying that, Dan has quite a clean race as well.
I've had a front wing damage.
Okay, but the Renault, just unfortunate, I guess. A, at the start to have that little collision with Brad, and B, to obviously have that collision with the wall around this street circuit and go out. We've obviously got a more open circuit in Austin coming up next, but Matt is going to be quite tentative coming across the last corner just to make sure he does seal the win. So we have got two different winners from two races, and Matty, a bit of analysis on Matt's race there.
Well, the fact that we barely even covered what he did pretty much says it all. A nice, clean race, and not too much drama. We've got Dan. Is that Dan slowing down?
I had a mistake. I did make a bit of a mistake going to the last corner.
Okay, so that's it then for the second race. So Matt takes the lead of the championship on 43 points. Brad is going to be on fourth. He will be in third with 27 points. And Dan will take second with 33 points. And Jake will be in last place with that DNF. So let's go now to the Austin circuit, which should be a more open race between everyone, I would have thought. Hopefully we see more racing action, and we'll see you in Austin. Okay then, so we have got, who have we got on pole this time? We've got Brad on pole, Matt in second, Jake in third, and Dan in fourth. It's lights out, and away we go for the American Grand Prix, the third race out of four. It's going to be quite titanic coming into this first corner. The Renault goes up the inside, can't really see much though. Has there been a crash? It looks like everyone's got through there pretty cleanly. But Brad is in the lead of this race at the moment. Matty is in second.
Come on.
And Brad's made a bit of a mistake round there. Let's have a look at this. Matty.
Matt's on the outside.
Got wide.
Oh, Brad's run wide.
Lost the position. Lost two positions.
Nice corner cut, Brad.
And he's trying up again around the
Yeah,
inside,
mention
which
it.
sends at the outside, which sends at the inside,
For
and he's
fuck's
taken
sake,
himself out.
are you serious?
Brad, that was a risky move, Brad.
Yeah, it was a risky move. We do know that they're going around the outside. That doesn't work! But the Renault does get involved with another collision with the Ferrari of D-Mad there. And I think the Renault is getting pretty frustrated at the fact that obviously he's got to make up a load of points. But it looks like he will get past Dan on the straight here. Let's have a look. He's got the slipstream on the straight, and the order is restored, it seems, from the first race. Dan, let's see if he can make it. Bit of a cutback. Maybe up the inside here. Yes, he does dive up the inside of the Renault. And that's a fantastic move. Can he keep it? The Renault's going to get the inside line. And the Renault has kept it.
Excellent driving from the two guys there to keep it. To keep oh, there's a little bit of contact. Dan has cut the corner and had a swing at Helmet, but the only, well, no positions gained, but certainly time lost for Helmet, who is, well, he's trying to catch up to Matt 2-on-2 at the moment, and that's certainly not going to help him. But I think it's hurt Dan more there, sent him into a half spin, and he's had to recover from that.
Looks like Brad's pretty much out of this race, to be fair. It looked like his own mistake, what happened at that collision, but, you know, obviously, that's the championships for you, I guess. He did start on pole, so he did have quite a lot of trouble coming into that S section. He did muck it up before that S section, and did go wide, but I guess that's just luck for you. And yeah, so it looks like Dan is quite a way behind.
Yeah, I did fuck that up myself going into that corner. A bit too optimistic.
But bear in mind, Dan, if you do finish third, you'll still be 8 points ahead of Jake. So going to the last race,
do you mean I'll be 5 points ahead of Jake?
Yeah, sorry, you'll be 5 points ahead, yeah.
but we do have Helmet starting to close in. I think he's taken about 3/10 in the first 2 sectors alone. It's not enough, but it's definitely, well, it's going to put the pressure on Matt a little bit, but Matt does have a pretty cool head. He's an experienced league racer. Helmets is really got the pace though around here. He's really shown the promise that didn't come to fruition in Baku, and the promise always ran wide coming into the second to last corner, though I'm not sure if that will cost him too much, maybe a couple tenths. And now we go into the last lap. I think it's too much work to do. Oh, it's down to 1.9 seconds actually, so it's a slim chance he might get DRS. It requires a lot of work, but I think we might have a little bit of a race on here. Coming through into the first section.
I think you've got to master the XS section. That's the crucial thing around here.
And he's gotten through it very cleanly indeed. And taking another 10th out of Matt's lead.
Yeah, that's just a 10th. I don't think he's going to get DRS though.
No, but it's all pressure, and you know, it's if you've got to keep going for any chance in these races, because they are just 3 laps. The pressure on the drivers is very high, so if Matt makes a mistake, we've got Helmets right there to pounce.
As you can see, a brilliant camera from Matt's car on the rear view mirror. Unfortunately, it just cut back to the broadcast, but oh well. And it looks like Matt should win this race, but it's not over yet whatsoever.
Yeah, it seems the gap's holding now. All Matt really needs to do now is cruise to the finish, and he's got his second win in this group stage.
Yeah, absolutely right. So, it's been quite an interesting race. Not a lot of action apart from the start. We do go to Singapore next, which has a lot of ability to be a bit of a dramatic race. But the real drama, I think, from that race is that will Jake get through, will Dan get through? I think pretty much now, unless Matt makes a mistake, he will go through, and Matt has took first place in that race, and Jake crashes at the line in typical style. And Matt then leads now on 68 points. Jake is on 43 points, Dan is on 48 points, and Brad is on 39 points. So Brad needs a pretty big result in Singapore to be able to go through to the semi-finals. Not saying he can't do it, not at all.
He sort of needs to win and all of us need to retire.
Well, not necessarily. As long as it, well, what's the gap to you? He's got 39 points, and you have got 48. So basically, if he wins, then yeah, he needs to win basically. But pretty much Matt is through now, I believe. Yeah, if Matt retires and Helmet wins, the way we'll have to do it is that we'll have a playoff between those two drivers, as they've had the same result. But as long as Matt doesn't retire, he's through. So that's Matt through to the semi-finals. Whether he'll be the highest scoring group winner or not, we don't know. If he wins this race, he has definitely had a good chance to be the highest group winner. But we've got obviously Jake as well, who can win the race, and Dan, of course, Brad, who can also win the race. So we'll see you for an interesting race, no doubt, in Singapore.
Oh my lord!
Well, they've given us an introduction, a perfect introduction to commentate on, and wow, there
is
you
a
go.
silver lining, thank God.
So, we've got Matt on pole, Dan second, Helmet's third, and Brad fourth. Ironically, in the order they're in the championships at the moment. So here we go then. I've got a jump start, but in the wet at Singapore, I promise you, we have not scripted this, but in Singapore, in the wet, it's lights out, and away we go. Brad's already in the wall. Brad's put it in the wall, but he is still in this race. Matt is in the lead, and Dan's in second. It's incredibly tricky round here. We've grip, and Brad's in the wall again. Oh, dear Brad. But it looks like Brad is firmly going to be out of this now, and Brad is out of the session, so unfortunately, that signals Brad's exit from the Summer Championships. And Dan has gone wide and hit the wall, and wow. Dan, if you can keep it, crucially though, if Dan can keep it going, Dan does still go through, because obviously Jake does not gain that 43, 40. He does not gain that 5 points. But
Yeah,
it looks like
exactly
Matt has kept it cool round here. And what a performance so far from the great group leader. Wouldn't you agree, Matty?
Yeah, but I was just going to say it's crucial that Jake now overtakes Matt for the lead. Matt, of course, wants maximum points so he gets the ideal semi-final. but Jake needs the points just so he can get to the semi-final. So we've got a really interesting race coming on here for two completely conflicting reasons.
Yeah, definitely. And if Dan, obviously Dan did hit the wall, what's your situation, Dan? Is the car broke or front wing's gone? Okay, cool. Okay.
Oh
Yeah,
no!
exactly.
Oh no!
Yeah, so this could be interesting now. Obviously, if Matt bins it, no pressure, Matt, that does change the story completely. But at the moment, Matt does go through as group winner, and Dan goes through as second place.
I mean, Dan has got obviously the slight, well, he's lost his entire front wing, but as long as he gets to the finish, then he still has a chance at Jake. No, that's just a little bit of lag. We've lost Brad. Brad's gone, like Dan said, and we've got Jake just playing with the walls a little bit there. Matt keeping it nice and cool. Jake really pushing it at this point. Toby, you really can't blame him.
No, you can't whatsoever. I mean, Brad's gone, obviously, as he is out of the Summer Championships now. Great shame, but I just think he wasn't competitive enough, and he will admit that himself. But as you say, I cannot blame Jake going for this, because Jake needs, I'm sure, wants to get through, and the only way he's going to get through, unless a miracle of Dan crashing out, is getting past the leader of Matt, which will be tricky.
He is very close. I did see he cut the first corner though, so I'll just double check that he hasn't got a corner cutting penalty. Very close on track. We have got no penalties there, so he's gotten away with that one. So it is a complete race for position, no time penalties involved at all.
As long as neither of these drivers hit the wall, it should be quite a clean race at the end. But yeah, should be interesting. Obviously, I think this group winner will go to
Dan just needs to not bid it entirely.
The best scoring semi-final, I'm guessing, because I would be shocked if this isn't the best score, unless obviously somebody just take the quadruple. Obviously, this is the first group we're recording, so you'll know already, guys, what's happening in all the other groups.
We have got Jake immediately behind, though. He's really pressuring the back of Matt. He's got to go. I'm not sure if he's quite close enough to go for a move. He's looking. He's perhaps just showing Matt that he is prepared to go for a move. But he is really right on the back of the gearbox of that Williams. Coming into the Marina section now. Matt locking up a little slight bit.
Right, okay then, guys. So Dan has decided to withdraw. Reasons are completely unknown, because there we go, Dan's withdrawn. So we do have first and second in this group, as long as obviously... Oh! He's crashed! Is that lag, or is it...
I think that possibly just a lag. He's definitely backed off, though. No, he's lost his front wing.
Oh my god, it disconnected for like 3 seconds.
Okay, so Jake is struggling, but really now we are going to skip to the end of the race, because unless anything dramatic happens, this is your first and second from Group D. So then, guys, here we are at the end of the race, and here is your group winner. A fantastic display, maybe apart from that first race when Jake beat him, but apart from that, Matt has blitzed the field in Group D and has won the group by a real massive margin. Maybe a few controversies about that, because obviously he got 93 points. Nothing to do with Matt, but obviously with a few people withdrawing, etc. But Jake has been a little bit up and down, maybe, in this group stage. But, you know, I guess he's just about got through with 61 points. He goes through to the F1 Summer Championship semi-final, and Dan and Brad are going to be out. And that is Group D then, folks. So Matt ends on 93, Jake on 61, Dan 48, and Brad on 39. So that's it for Group D of the F1 Summer Championships. So a really controversial ending to Group D, as Brad crashed at the start of race 4 after a generally scrappy group stage, and Dan decided to withdraw as he felt that Jake was the worthy second place driver on the day. If Jake would have been in a different group, he may not have got through with that 61 points total, kind of proven by Group B. But saying that, getting 61 points with that DNF in Baku was certainly credible, with 73 points being a minimum if he hadn't have made that mistake in Baku. So next time we'll see highlights from Groups A and C to see who completes the 8 driver strong lineup for the semi-final. Hope you enjoyed this one, guys, and I'll see you for the next. Thank you very much for watching, and goodbye.